Okay, as we continue into the flat cars, these, interestingly enough, as I mentioned with the box cars, they're actually a little bit smaller than original. The flat cars are 100% identical, so these you can mix and match into them perfectly. Lots of weird variations with these, as you'll come to see. Another neat thing with these is they actually stamped the Marx logo into these, which was something you didn't see on a lot of these. Usually they would just lithography it on there. But here's the UP flat car. Generally, these would come in 2 packs. I forget how they which ones came with which, but they didn't have any load on them, and they would just come plain like that in 2 packs. And then this one here I got. I don't know. Obviously, you can get all this separate, so I don't know if this was one that was actually offered, if I can talk, or not. This one here with the cars on it, these are original cars. A lot of these were done as like dealer incentives for folks that would actually carry the line in a store as a distributor type deal. So you'll come across these, and they're basically on catalogs. Kits, but I got that UP one, and then I got this Seaboard unit here. Now the other interesting thing with Seaboard is I got one that actually has pipes on it. Finding these with loads like that are actually pretty hard, and I believe, again, ones that are got loads like this, I think, are another example of a special uncatalogued version that was done. Another one too you'll run into on some of these with weird things going on is they were out of sets. For a while, the new Marx outfit was putting together actual complete sets, and every once in a while they would offer really odd things in them. Here's the Seaboard one plain. These kind of continue the tradition from actual Marx production, where the sides are just kind of blah. But then when you get to this one here, the Bessemer, and it's got a generator load on. This was kind of a neat one. And it was one of the first flat cars I think they put out that actually had a load on it. Not too hard to find, but it's pretty neat. They put a lot of effort into it. Then when you get into some of the NYC units, this was one that was offered later on with the coils. These actually have little sides on them, but I put mine somewhere where I wouldn't lose them, and I don't remember where I put them. But they do have little slats that would go along there. And then here we have an NYC with the Hudson delivery vans. This one, I think, is the only one set up like this that was actually offered cataloged. Later on, they did put, I can't remember the name of it, but they did put little cars and boats on these, but it was from a different manufacturer. It wasn't like reproduction or original use Marx vehicles on them. It was a little bit of a different style, but this one here was actually a cataloged one. And then they had the culvert pipe one here. This one also gets slats on it. This one I think was also another one that was actually offered from the get-go in the factory. It's actually got like a binding on it. And then we get into these two that were offered into 2 packs. Again, like I said, I forget which ones came with which. But we got a Milwaukee Road, and then we get a Pennsylvania. These two I don't have any variations with, but as you can see, they do have the holes in there to put stuff on them. And what's interesting though is then we get to this one, which I think is one of the last flat cars they offered, was the KSC, and it's actually kind of a hard one to get, and one I really like because it actually brings some color to your lineup. But as you can see, it's got extra holes in there for things. But mine didn't come with them. But these are actually offered with NOS or like reused Marx tractors. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, those little plastic tractors. And they just had them bound down. Mine did not include them. They didn't use like any special hooks or attachments or anything. They literally just put them on there and strapped them down with some kind of ties of some sort. But yeah, I would say I'm definitely missing a lot of flat cars, but seeing how a lot of these are uncatalogued, it's really anybody's guess how much was actually offered with some of this stuff. So, but that is the flat cars. Okay, and we're going to wrap up our new Marx with the cabooses I have, they did make a decent number of cabooses. I only have 2 of them. They made quite a bit of them that didn't have the butterfly couplers. They had the tab and hooks. They had like a really nice Santa Fe one that I believe is made off of that particular die. But yeah, this is just a really nice Pennsylvania caboose. I think you actually could only get these in sets, and I think there might have been a small number of these that were illuminated. But yeah, they put a lot of work into these. They're really nice. But yeah, I had an opportunity to pick one of these up at a pretty good price, so I jumped on it. And then I really wanted to have one of these, and these are kind of harder to get. But these are illuminated, and this, what's interesting about this is actually a prototypical type caboose that you would actually have seen on the New York Central. Ones that had real tall ones, a lot of people call them like Santa Fe styles, were not prototypical, especially for the NYC. Most Eastern railroads really didn't use them because there wasn't enough clearance. You know, you weren't out west where you actually had room to have big, tall cabooses. And so NYC cabooses typically were very squat guys. But yeah, this one here is kind of a hard one to get. It's a very nice caboose. They actually put little toolboxes under it. Yeah, they didn't do that on these. But yeah, this is a really nice caboose. It's one I'm really glad to have, because when you're trying to put together kind of a prototypical looking train as far as Tinplate goes, this really is the caboose you want. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the new Marx, Ameritrains, Joe Train stuff I got. I got quite a bit of it. I kind of was going nuts with it for a while, and then kind of reeled myself back in after I realized just how far down the rabbit hole I could have went. But yeah, it's really nice stuff. It's a shame they're not still in business producing this stuff. It really is a great compliment to what you have. And folks that are into the more toy-like end of Marx stuff, you got lots of really good selections. Towards the end, they even started making some locomotives, some really interesting ones that are actually based off of prototypical stuff. They kind of dabbled into some passenger cars a little bit and everything. It's just a really great line. If you haven't given a chance and you're into the Marx stuff, you really ought to look into it. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.